Imagine this. In a classroom in Nairobi, a teacher asks her students to name inventions that changed the world. Hands shoot up. The light bulb, the telephone, the airplane. But when one boy quietly says, "the world's first university," the class laughs. He smiles and replies, "It was in Africa, Timbuktu." That moment changes everything, because too often when we talk about world-changing inventions, we forget that Africa was not just part of history. Africa made history. From medicine to mathematics, in the 14th century, while Europe was just awakening from the Dark Ages, the city of Timbuktu in Mali was already home to the world's first recorded university, the University of Sankore. Tens of thousands of students came from across Africa and beyond to study astronomy, mathematics, law, and philosophy. Its libraries held over 700,000 manuscripts, many handwritten in Arabic and African languages. This center of learning made Timbuktu one of the most important intellectual cities in history. So yes, before Oxford or Harvard, Africa was already teaching the world. Over 4,000 years ago, African doctors in ancient Egypt were performing complex surgeries, centuries before the rest of the world even understood anatomy. The Edwin Smith Papyrus, one of the oldest medical texts ever found, describes brain surgeries, wound treatments, and even prosthetic limbs. Archaeologists discovered mummified bodies with healed fractures and dental fillings, showing that ancient Africans practiced advanced surgical techniques and dentistry. They used herbal medicine from plants still used today, like aloe vera and castor oil, long before modern pharmaceuticals. When we think of African innovation, few examples are more striking than the mathematics and architecture behind the Great Pyramids of Egypt. Built over 4,000 years ago, the pyramids were aligned perfectly with the stars, based on advanced knowledge of geometry and astronomy. But Egypt wasn't alone. Further south, the Nubians developed early forms of trigonometry to construct precise pyramids of their own, smaller but even more numerous. These civilizations inspired mathematical systems later seen in Greece and Rome. So when you look at modern architecture, remember, Africa laid the foundation, literally. While Europe was still in the Bronze Age, Africans were already smelting iron and steel. The knot culture of Nigeria mastered ironworking as early as 1000 BC, creating tools and weapons that boosted agriculture and trade. In Benin, bronze casting reached such perfection that even European explorers in the 1400s couldn't believe it was African-made. And in Great Zimbabwe, massive stone cities were built without mortar, just perfect interlocking stones. An architectural mystery that still fascinates archaeologists today. Tractors or modern irrigation, African farmers engineered terrace farming and water systems to sustain crops through dry seasons. In Ethiopia, ancient communities carved terraces into mountains that are still used today. In the Sahel, engineers built irrigation canals and dams to control floods and droughts. They domesticated grains like sorghum and millet, which feed millions worldwide today. Africa's green thumb literally helped feed the planet. And Africa's spirit of innovation is alive today. In Nigeria, Dr. Oshioranoya Agabi built a computer powered by living neurons, bridging biology and technology. In Kenya, William Kamkwamba, the boy who harnessed the wind, built a windmill from scrap metal to power his village. In South Africa, Dr. Selig Percy Amoyles invented a surgical cryoprobe used in modern eye surgeries around the world. And across the continent, young inventors are developing solar panels, drones, and AI systems to solve local challenges. The African genius is not past, it's present and future. So the next time you think about inventions that change the world, remember, Africa was not waiting for the world to begin. It was already creating, building, healing, and teaching. From the deserts of Egypt to the forests of Nigeria, from Timbuktu's scholars to today's young innovators, Africa has always been a continent of creators. If this story opened your eyes, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe for more African stories that inspire, educate, and remind us of who we truly are.